The social media app TikTok confirmed that it plans to go dark in the United States on Sunday, unless it's given more clarity from the Biden administration. And 22 News reporter Julia O'Keefe is live in the studio now with what this means for Americans.
YouTube, what's going on in the world today? I got a quick question for you. How many of you use TikTok? I definitely do. Whether you're doing the viral dances or deep diving into the conspiracy world of TikTok or just scrolling for hours, it is very hard to imagine life without TikTok. Am I right? Could you imagine life without Facebook, life without Instagram, Snapchat, any social media? Well, what if I told you that TikTok might actually be on the verge of getting banned? We have known this for a few months at this point. Yep, banned like gone, finito, like forever. Goodbye to your endless scrolling. Could you imagine? This quick video is going to give you a little insight to what's going on with TikTok right now.
That's right, Kiara. We're just one day away from TikTok's supposed shutdown, which is coming right before President-elect Trump's transition into the White House. In a post on X yesterday, the app announced statements issued by the Biden White House and Department of Justice had failed to provide the necessary clarity to maintain TikTok's availability to more than 170 million American users. They said, quote, unless the Biden administration immediately provides a definitive statement to satisfy the most critical service providers assuring non-enforcement, unfortunately, TikTok will be forced to go dark on January 19th. This comes after the Supreme Court upheld the federal law banning the popular social media app starting Sunday unless it is sold by its China-based parent company. A sale does not appear imminent at this time. This means new users won't be able to download the app and updates won't be available, but it won't disappear from users' phones. President-elect Trump has vowed that he could negotiate a solution, and President Biden has signaled he will not enforce the law on Sunday, his final full day in office. Trump may use an executive order to delay the ban by as much as 270 days, and that would give TikTok's China-based parent company ByteDance 9 months to sell the app. Working for you, Julia O'Keefe, 22 News.
So wow, you heard it. You heard it. The news is so basically TikTok is a Chinese-owned company that's highly used in the United States. So a lot of people believe that China is spying on the United States through this app. There's a conspiracy on TikTok. Maybe I'll make a video about it later. Saying TikTok is just too unregulated. So in other words, United States can't control that app as much as they were. United States cannot control TikTok as much as they can control the Facebook or Instagram or YouTube. And what I mean by that is when they do not want something to be heard or mentioned or spoke about, believe it or not, there's a thing called shadow banning where that content is not going to be pushed as much as the content that they want to be pushed. So being that TikTok is owned by a Chinese company and not United US company, they don't care. And what a lot of people are finding TikTok to be useful for is when you really want to find out what's going on with a certain situation, you go to TikTok. And a lot of it, they call it conspiracies, are not true, but a lot of it is like real information that we should have known and we would have never found out unless it was for TikTok. So to me, I just see it as US wants control of TikTok. So basically, if TikTok is not owned by a US company or group, then they don't want to hear it in the United States. But what I'm also hearing is that Biden is not going to make any real effort to like what they say black out TikTok on the 19th, which is tomorrow, and he's going to leave it in Trump's hands to make the decision. Um, and Trump can, put in an order that will extend, I guess, TikTok being able to be used for 270 days. You do the math, that's about 9 months. So do I think TikTok's going to be banned within the next by tomorrow? It might shut off for a while. Could you imagine? You know, TikTok being just shut off. Could you imagine any social media being shut off? Like social media has been so detrimental to our social life. I think all of them should be banned for a certain amount of time. Let everybody detox. But to see it happen, if it does actually happen tomorrow, will show that it is possible for them to do that. And I just think it's crazy that United States is looking to control, have so much control over like that freedom of speech that people have with TikTok. Okay, so as you saw, this ban is no joke, or is it? Let's dive into how this could impact us as users, and if it actually is going to happen, or is it just another internet scare? How could this affect people's lives? A lot of people have left their full-time jobs and become professional TikTokers. A lot of people have found fame by going viral on TikTok from like making music or a trendy dance, and they get a bunch of views, or their thing goes viral and their product sells out like crazy. So just imagine, all those people, probably millions of people who have a business one day and tomorrow just nothing. So that should be a lesson in itself. Like, never put all your eggs in one basket. So you have TikTok. You're also able to make Instagram Reels. You can make YouTube Shorts. You can make YouTube videos. Like, don't put all your eggs in one basket because the next day it could be gone. It really can. I mean, I love a good doom scroll, but losing TikTok will hit creators hard. Imagine all those niche videos you love just gone. And don't even get me started on the brands using TikToks to sell us stuff we didn't know we needed. Like, who's going to convince me to buy another useless gadget now? I'm sure that artificial intelligence will find a way. But in the second video, let's see how, the loss or ban of TikTok will affect actual creators.
I started sprucing up my resume because I'm like, I might have to get a job until we figure out this TikTok thing. But I'm not.
And you know how many TikTokers are very upset that they might have to find an actual job, a 9 to 5, where they got to go in and they can't use any of their creative abilities just to pay their bill in the short term till they figure out another way to get out of the rat race. Ooh, that sucks.
Not really sure what's in the future, honestly.
I don't know if it'll just be a minor setback or something that I can overcome.
We introduced you to these 3 TikTok creators last year. They say their financial futures are uncertain, even after the Supreme Court heard arguments Friday on a law that would ban TikTok, owned by the Chinese company ByteDance. During the hearing, both conservative and liberal justices seemingly challenged TikTok's arguments surrounding free speech. Rita Colon is a full-time personal shopper who says she makes at least $3,000 a month live streaming in big department stores.
Come on now, $3,000 a month. I know to a lot of creators that ain't nothing, but to the average person, $3,000 to go shop is a lot of money. And just for that to be gone tomorrow, today's the 18th, tomorrow, your ability to make $3,000 is gone. You gotta make that up. You ain't working, you're doing this full time. Now you're down to zero. It's crazy.
It's allowed me to be an entrepreneur and to work for myself. It's allowed me the freedom of time.
If you got 384, say, oh yeah.
3rd grade teacher Shelby Lattimore, who charges her students Lattimore bucks to teach financial literacy, says she has pulled in over 6 figures from the platform.
It's been
6 figures for a teacher. Teachers are not getting paid 6 figures. They're making probably half of that. Working full time for, these students. She's making double, probably on the side of her job on TikTok. That's gone. Just gone.
Able for me to help out my family members, help out like here in the school. I've been able to fund field trips.
Find me, Jose Monkey.
You asked me to figure out where this video was recorded, so I did.
And Jose Monkey, who doesn't ever use his real name online, teaches about the importance of online safety, his viewers challenging him to global scavenger hunt.
Dang, this dude a whole professional stalker. He's making money on TikTok. Like, he can find you based off the picture. He can look at my back wall and be like, hey, you're on the south side of Chicago.
You're at the southwest corner of the Sarah D. Roosevelt Park.
He says his hope of making his content his main income is dwindling.
I worry that this TikTok ban is going to potentially derail that to some degree.
A 2024 survey by the Influencer Marketing Hub found TikTok is the top platform brands use for influencer marketing.
Wow, look at that. I believe it too, because nobody uses Facebook really anymore. So they're at 28%. I use YouTube a lot. I know a lot of people use YouTube like Google, but it's a lot of like long form content. So when I want to know something like in depth, maybe I'll go to YouTube. But if I would just want to know something in depth very quickly, I'm going to TikTok. If it's not on there, or then I'll go to YouTube. Instagram, I don't really use much other than, maybe like the Reels. I'm not really purchasing anything on there. But look at TikTok. Chinese owned company is at the top of the list because they give people the freedom of speech to say what they want to say. And United States don't want that. They want this. They want Facebook, we can control that. YouTube, we can control that. Instagram, we can control that. They don't want TikTok. We can't control that. We want it if we can control it. But if we can't, we don't want it.
TikTok says if banned, creators would lose $1.3 billion in the first month.
Ooh, that's 1,000 million. That's 1,300 million, if you guys didn't know. In the first month. Can you imagine how much money they're going to lose for the year?
ByteDance has until January 19th to sell or transfer the app to an American-owned company, according to the Department of Justice. If it doesn't, it will be banned, and people won't be able to download the app in the United States.
Do you have like a plan B or backup plan?
So yeah, over a year ago, I did start my YouTube and my Instagram so that I have those platforms as well.
See, she's smart. You got to have a backup plan. Anything that you do, I'm not saying you should have backup plans for everything, but in the world we live in, like with this social media, you could be demonetized, the app could be banned or permanently deleted. Or whatever could happen, and you just lose everything, all your eggs are in one basket. So spread it out just a little bit. You're making content, these videos, you could drop it on the TikTok platform, you could take that same video, you could drop it on your Instagram platform, you could drop it on the YouTube platform. And so if one shuts off, you got the other mediums to, maybe not make exactly how much, but you can slowly build up. So that's a really good move on her part.
Instagram will let you go live, but only for an hour. After an hour, the timer goes on and it just automatically ends your live.
As creators and consumers wait to see what's ultimately decided, some are holding on to hope, others preparing for the end of an era.
I don't want to be dramatic, but I mean, TikTok has definitely changed my life. It has been a big, sort of hobby slash, profession for me, which is an interesting balance. It's definitely, changed my perspective probably in ways I can't count.
Maya Eaglin, NBC News.
I mean, you see it. These are just three creators, whose lives will be affected by the loss of TikTok. Just like that. So what's the verdict? Ban or no ban? Honestly, if you were to ask me, I just can't fathom it. I think it's just a lot of hoopla just to scare people. But I will say, start preparing, in the case that TikTok did actually get banned. Like, start spreading your content to other areas. Like, this reminds me of Y2K. Back in 2000, for you young generation that wasn't here during that time, when the year 2000 hit, they had this huge thing going around that all the lights, the internet, everything was just going to shut off at 12 o'clock at night. So people panicked. They bought water. They bought a bunch of resources, foods, and toilet paper, because when that ball dropped on New Year's, everything was going to shut off, and everything didn't shut off. This is a little different because they just don't want China to have that much control in the United States. So there may be a short period of time where TikTok is not fully functional. It may shut off, but I don't think this is the last time we're going to see TikTok. I think something's going to be figured out, because there's money involved, and there's just too much money involved with TikTok for all of that money just to be left on the table. That's in my opinion, but it seems like things are still up in the air. Some experts say this is all a political theater, while others think it's only a matter of time. But hey, if it does happen, at least we still got YouTube Shorts. Wait. So in this last video, from a business aspect, Kevin O'Leary, he just addresses what is going on with TikTok business-wise, and how we could come to a decision in terms of an actual person or group purchasing TikTok or taking it over. Like, what are the actual chances of that, and what type of money is involved with being able to execute that?
What I think a lot of people don't understand about this situation, which is a derivative of the order, but this is where it gets complex. As of midnight on the 19th, any service provider, that could be an Apple, that could be an Oracle, it could be a video compression technology company.
So these are potential buyers. That's what he means by that, I believe.
It is being paid as a consulting service. Any of them that keep this thing alive is subject to $5,000 a day fine times $170 million. That's
Jeez. A $5,000 fine times $170 million. That's almost $1 billion a day. Basically, to keep TikTok alive during, I guess, the execution of purchasing it. I think that's what he's saying.
over $1 billion a day. Now, if you are the counsel for any of these companies right now in the last 15 minutes, you're advising your executive and the board that the risk inherent here is the first $1.7 billion of fines is going to be implemented, maybe or maybe not, until the executive order, which is untested. We don't know if an executive order can override a law from Congress. There's a case in 1930.
So he's saying even if somebody was willing to pay this exorbitant amount of money per day to get to a final decision on an executive order, which we don't even know if it's possible to do. So you could spend all these billions of dollars and Congress still, I guess, like uphold the ban, and you're just out billions of dollars. Or it could just take forever, and who knows how many billions of dollars you're going to have to spend before they come to a final verdict. So that's a very huge risk for anybody to take. Who's willing to take that risk?
37 that was used successfully, but you don't know. So as of right now, unless the company enters into a agreement to be purchased by an American syndicate, and Biden, who's the executive right now, waives for 90 days, this thing goes dark at midnight, because who's going to take on $1.7 billion risk at midnight? Who's going to do that?
Kevin, what is the price tag to get the deal done?
Right now, $20 billion's on the table. Cash, $20 billion.
He's saying that if the Chinese company were to come to an agreement to actually sell, there is an offer on the table for $20 million. But if they wanted to keep it, I guess, owned by a Chinese company during the battle with the Supreme Court on whether TikTok should be banned or not, someone would have to pay those fines for keeping TikTok active for that time. So, with that being said, it sounds like TikTok is about to go night night tomorrow at midnight. But we gotta find out. We gotta find out. I'm gonna follow this because it's in the next 2 days, and there's a lot coming up with like the Trump inauguration. The world is gonna be crazy, but that's something that's going on in this world right now. Now I want to hear from you. Are you team TikTok forever, or are you already planning your move to another app? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share this video with your TikTok loving friends. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.